how are we doing? Morning David, morning Stevie. Just having a look at the news, just seeing what's going on overnight. Monetary policy meeting minutes we had for the Aussie. It's interesting, they say like a 25 basis point increase at each meeting would be rapid tightening. Everyone else is going like half to 3/4 and they're like 25. That's fine. Typical Aussies, always laid back. Nothing much came out of Governor Lowe speaking. We had a little bit of whipsawing on the Aussie. Nothing much else. So that was the Lowe speech and the monetary policy minutes. So we got literally whipsaw. So nothing particularly exciting happened there. Morning Space and morning Dunisani. How you doing? So, yeah, nothing on the Aussie. Today we've got CAD at 130 retail sales. Forecast to be very low. I suspect we might get a bit more positive out of that than 0.5. Why is nothing working this morning? Sorry, let me just refresh this. Something weird going on with my computer this morning. I can't log into TickStrike for some reason, and this seems to be lagging massively. It's reloading now. Assuming my internet is actually working. You can hear me anyway. So yeah, we normally get it's not working, not loading. We normally get positive releases, so they're always very overcautious with their forecasts, the Canadians. So it's usually a little bit better than expected. So I would expect possibly some positive CAD movement this afternoon. I've got a couple of CAD longs on, so I'll try and hold some of this, I think, until this afternoon. Discord's down. Discord's down as well, is it? Blimey. Maybe the internet's broken. So yeah, so waiting to see what happens with that. So that's the only news we've got today on the CAD. We have got existing home sales for the US this afternoon. Very rarely does anything. Existing home sales are nothing's working. So nothing to do with monetary policy shifts. So existing home sales are basically a knock-on effect of housing permits. Something wrong with Forex Factory this morning. Internal server error. There you go. So we got home sales basically, which isn't really an indicator of anything specifically interesting happening with monetary policy. So that's all we've got for today. This afternoon, so CAD is really the only thing that's going to get affected. We had a very flat day across the board yesterday. Obviously, it was a holiday in the US. So, morning, Alan. So yesterday was pretty sideways on most things. We had quite a bit of shop because obviously there was light liquidity in the market yesterday. But nothing particularly dramatic from a movement perspective anywhere. So where we are today is not too dissimilar to where we were yesterday. So you can see very, very tight range on US, for example, yesterday. So the positions I took on yesterday, Euro CAD short is sitting nicely in profit. Got just under 0.5% on that. CAD yen got a little bit on that. US dollar yen's in profit just about. Euro US dollar and the Aussie New Zealand in drawdown. So things are starting to move. I'm probably going to stick 0.5% in the bank today. I'm just waiting to see what happens with this CAD. So what I might do just before the CAD release, have a look at this, and I'll probably bank half just before the CAD release, just in case it comes out the wrong way, and then just let the rest run basically. So have a quick look at indices for those interested in indices. Yesterday we had a positive day. So yeah, we're running up basically. We're still in this massive inside bar obviously. So we're just basically pulling back on the inside bar. Positive day across the board, but obviously very, very light liquidity yesterday. So tiny little range. Well, it wasn't massively small, but we did have a fair bit of movement yesterday. FTSE obviously wasn't shut, so we had some big moves on that. But yeah, we had some decent movement. It was very, very grindy yesterday. I traded the ES yesterday afternoon. A little bit, made a little bit out of it, not a lot. Just grinding up basically. So yeah, so not a lot of movement, obviously positive, which is good, but we are still in a pullback on this downward move, looking for the next leg down. So sticking a fib on this, you'll find that's a 50% retracement, obviously. So today we could be looking at the gates at shorts, but we may well want to come back up a little bit more and put a little bit more in. So we'll see. But yeah, indices obviously just waiting for the next leg down. We've had very little pullback on this collapse. This was a long time coming as well, this collapse. This next leg, well, not really second leg is it, but the next leg took a long time to actually start doing anything. We sat sideways for over a week, but we're on our way. So yeah, all good on the indices. Market's open, a lot more volatility this morning. It's really annoying tick strike's not working. There seems to be an awful lot down this morning. Look, valid username and password. It's not. It's the same one as I use every day. Yeah, so we got Forex Factory down, apparently Discord's down, Tick Strike's down, Financial Juice is working. I assume Tick Strike's working on here. No, it's not, is it? Their service must be down. I reckon there's a massive outage somewhere by the sounds of things. Seems to be a few services affected at the moment. When was the last news release? 7:56. So that's working. Anyway, doesn't matter. So yeah, so anyway, sorry, yeah, so there's the indices. I'm not trading indices in the morning anymore at the moment. I've gone off the DAX. I'm just trying to concentrate on the afternoons at the moment, so just going to concentrate on the position trading side of things in the mornings. Right, so far today, nothing on ADR. We've got nothing hit weekly. Obviously yesterday there was no movement in the market because the market was shut in the US, so we had hardly anything. There's nothing really on its way either at the moment. So no ADRs to look at, no weeklies to look at. Monthlies, it's a little bit late. It's 21st of the month, and most of these monthlies have already played out because they're mainly yen based and Swiss franc based. So that's all played out already. So yeah, nothing on ADRs to look at all today. Hourlies completely flat, dead. So nothing interesting there either. And the 4 hourlies, we've only got the Swiss yen. Which is the one that is hanging at the highs at the moment. Obviously yesterday we had nothing happening, so we're still hanging up at these highs from the move last week. That's the hourly. So yeah, we are just holding up here at the moment. I don't want to take a short on this because bias now on this is like that. So I want to really wait for a pullback and then look for some longs somewhere in this area here. Look to go long. So that's too extended at the moment. If you want to take a pullback on this, obviously you can do, but it's very counter trend obviously. with the yen, continued weakness, and obviously what happened with the Swiss franc last week. We don't really want to be getting in the way of this one. It's a bit of a steam train at the moment. Just want to see what's going on with the DAX, just interested. Yeah, fairly lackluster open on the indices this morning as well. Little tiny whip up and down and nothing else. Quiet open. Right, so we'll have a look at all the FX pairs again. So Swiss yen, obviously nice extended. We've got a couple of dailies. We'll have a look at the dailies as well. These are more for scalping. So anything that's really extended on the daily, quite often you're going to find when you're really extended on the daily chart, you have a lot of weakness. So for example, if we're extended to the upside, you start seeing some pushback because people are trying to mean revert it, and it does cause these little pushbacks. So they're good for just quick scalps, I find. Or I have found in the past. I don't really do that anymore. But so Swiss yen, for example, nicely extended. So just looking for sort of quick scalp moves where you see decent pushes, and then obviously it just carries on with its trend. Then nice pullback. So you tend to get good volatility because there's a lot more interest in them. Pound Swiss is also very extended on the daily to the downside. Again, you can see here for the last sort of 3 days really, we've had good wicks to the downside where, you know, if you'd have taken longs basically trying to start this mean reversion process, you'd have got some good movement out of those scalps. So expecting this to kind of have a little bit of a pullback based on the Swiss franc having a bit of neutrality potentially going forward, but that's not guaranteed obviously. The Swissy could just power up again at any moment. So and obviously with the pound being so weak, this isn't something you want to be mean reverting at the moment. And US dollar yen, same thing, nicely extended on the daily. We had that little bit of a pullback start, but obviously US dollar is expected to be sort of neutral to strong, yen weak, so we should be looking for longs on this. I'm already long on it anyway. So I'll whiz through. Anybody got any specific trades they're in, any positions they're in, they want to look at on any pairs, just shout. Otherwise I'm just going to whiz through all the pairs again. Going to be very similar to yesterday obviously because we haven't had a lot of movement. So I'm just going to see if there's anything else that's got to any levels that I'm interested in for new positions basically. So I'm just checking the VPS. What the hell? Oh. Tick Strike's just come to life on Financial Juice. Let me just try it on mine again. Aha! Yeah, so it was a server down. It's back. Turn that off there. So we can just hear what's going on in the market. Saying that, where's the interface? Oh, hang on. No, there's definitely still something wrong with Tick Strike. Oh, there we go. Oh, I can't move the window, look. It won't let me drag the window. Forex Factory is still down. Excuse me. Right, so starting at the top, Aussie CAD. Aussie CAD, basically we're looking for CAD strength. So Aussie CAD obviously looking for shorts. It's a short at the moment, as you can see from moving averages. We are right down at these lows though, so there is potential for a bounce down here. And obviously if this is going to go range bound, we could see some more positive movement, but at the moment the way the Aussie's trading, it's very, very, very weak. And Canadian dollar, there's no reason why we shouldn't get the strength on the Canadian dollar, just because of the oil and the fact that oil should continue to rise, and they're calling 150 a barrel in the next 12 months. So we should see some continuation on the CAD. CAD will continue to strengthen up. So we should be looking for shorts against the CAD with everything basically. So at the moment we're getting stuck right here. So we're not able to break this low at the moment for some reason. Not quite sure why this level is holding so much, but it is. So any kind of breakdown below that level, I think we'll get some sustained moves and some momentum back down to at least back down to these lows. But you know, if we're going to hold market structure on this, we should be looking for a new low to be put in as well. So this looks like a good looking short at the minute. I'm obviously very exposed on the CAD. I'm double exposed on the CAD at the moment, so I can't take any more CAD on. But this level, pending order below the low there, I think we've got a good chance of a drop. This is a really nice equal low bottom. There's going to be a lot of liquidity sitting up under here. So the fact that we've got a lot of liquidity sitting there, everybody that's taken a long, you know, everybody that's in this push, pull back long, everybody's taken that. Everybody that took the double bottom and everybody that's entered today all got their liquidity under there. So it also could be a trap for them to just come and grab all that liquidity and then run with it back up to the highs. It's going to depend on the CAD, obviously. So this afternoon we've got the Canadian retail sales. So if the Canadian retail comes out as negative, we could well see a spike down and then a run. If it comes out as positive, it gives them a reason to push Aussie CAD down. Whether or not then they do a run from there, I don't know. So either way, the bias on this is short Aussie CAD, and it really depends on whether or not they want to do a liquidity run before they drop it, or whether they're just going to take it from there. So you can argue that they have actually done a stop run on this already. Yeah, but people put their stops right, you know, one tick underneath, 1 pip underneath the levels. With the, you can see this spread on this, with the spread there, they've taken out all the liquidity from those two already with this move this morning. So, you know, it could have already been done. So yeah, so looking good for shorts. Good pending entry under there. Reversal alert on that one was yesterday. So that was the entry. The initial entry was up there, obviously, and then second entry there. So looking good for shorts. Aussie dollar CAD. Morning, Jesse. David's long Aussie New Zealand. Yeah, I'm long Aussie New Zealand as well. Aussie dollar Swiss. Don't really want to get interested in the Swiss franc at the moment. This needs a pullback, Swissy. So it's still an unknown. Yesterday we obviously got no clues as to what is going to continue to happen with the Swissy. You've got two plays on this one. You can either play the fade, or you can wait for a move back and short it. It could well just continue to go. If they want to use the Swiss franc as a new safe haven or investment vehicle, then the Swissy is going to power up quite a lot, which means you may not get very many pullbacks on this. Very difficult to tell with the Swissy. We haven't had, I can't show you because, oh yeah, it's back. So yeah, we haven't had a rate change on the Swiss franc forever. They just don't do this. This is just not unheard of with the Swissy. The Swiss National Bank do not change their rates unexpectedly very often. So this is a massive fundamental shift for the Swiss franc, and very difficult to know what the market's going to make of it. It's caught a lot of the market participants off guard. So there's a lot of liquidity in here where they got unbalanced books. So my feelings are they will probably want to come back and test this. It's whether or not the rest of the market participants are going to let them. You know, the banks that have entered short on this are quids in. They will want to add into their positions. How far they'll let it pull before they do that, difficult. They may well just go for it. You know, so it's very difficult with the Swiss franc at the moment, with all the Swissy pairs. You see as we go through, as to know whether we're going to get the fade. Normally, I would be fading this. If it was any kind of move apart from a rate an unexpected rate increase. It's a fundamental shift. When we get a fundamental shift, these propulsion gaps get left behind. So it may not even get to it. It's, as with everything, it's a 50-50 shot. You're either going to get the fade or you're not. So this trade is a good stop trade. It's a good risk reward. If you look at where we are here, yeah, if you're getting in here, yeah, there's your risk. Oh, hello. Bullish markets at the open. You know, your reward is as many as you want, really, isn't it? 2, 3, 4 to 1. So it's a good risk reward trade with a stop. Obviously be aware that there's a high probability of them coming and taking all the liquidity, because everybody that's trying to fade this that's already in it, their stops here, so it makes total sense to come and take that first before you do it. But we'll see. Yeah, really good strong moves on the indices this morning. Double top on the DAX with pre-market. Yeah, all markets are strong this morning. Morning, Neo. Aussie dollar Swiss, covered that one. Aussie dollar, New Zealand dollar. I've got my long on this one. So looking for a trend continuation. We're down in the 24.72 zone, which is where we like to pull back to when we're long. We are the deepest we've been so far, apart from this little bit down here. But yeah, so this is exactly where I want to be. Really nice extension on RSI last week. At the moment, we're just accumulating. We haven't made any moves anywhere. So I'm just waiting for that next leg up, basically. We'll be taking second position somewhere down here. Down at these lows really is the ideal spot. So if we continue to push down somewhere around here, be looking for a second position long, looking for that double bottom. If this double bottom breaks, that's when I need to sort of start having a think about what's going on. Why is the New Zealand dollar stronger than the Aussie? So that's really the level of interest down there. Looking for a second entry down there if needed. Hopefully it will just sort of chop around here and then pop off. But yeah, longs on that one. Aussie dollar yen, longs, not the best long in the world because the Aussie dollar is a little bit weak at the moment. Wow, really, really strong indices this morning. Off to the moon, the opening range breakout to the high. That's the trade this morning. Tempted. Not going to do it. I told myself I'm not trading the DAX at the moment. So looking at my P&L, the reason I should explain the reason I'm not trading the DAX, shouldn't I? I was looking at my P&L on the funded account, and the vast majority of my losing days consist of mainly DAX losses. So I'm steering clear of the DAX, and I think the reason being is the liquidity, obviously in the morning session with the DAX, is mainly made of Frankfurt and London, and the majority of my winning days and the best days all contain the vast majority of wins on NASDAQ. So I'm not cutting the DAX out, but I'm stopping myself trading it at the open specifically, because this is where most of my losses seem to appear. When we see an established trend forming, i.e. we're going to get a sort of churn day or a grind day, that's where I can make the money on the DAX when it slows down after the open. So I'm trying to eliminate this basically from my trading. All the losses I've had, where I've had the big losing days, they've all come off of DAX. So same as gold. This is what I identified in FX. I lose all the time when I trade gold, so I don't trade gold anymore. So you just have to, when you identify these things, you have to basically eliminate them. If you're no good at trading, you know, people say this about futures all the time. I really want to be a Nasdaq trader. If you trade Nasdaq over and over again, you can't make money at it. You're not a Nasdaq trader. Pick gold, pick ES, pick treasuries, pick whatever you want. Pick something else, but don't pick the one that you're no good at. If you find something that is making you losses, eliminate the losses. If you eliminate the losses, you make more profit. So, just to explain why I'm not trading DAX in the mornings at the moment. Aussie dollar yen longs. As I said, this isn't the best long in the world at the minute. Waiting for this reversal alert. It's not coming. The Aussie is fairly weak at the moment, and obviously the yen we know is going to be weak. So, of all the other pairs, the CAD yen and some of the other yens are going to be much better to trade at the moment, like US dollar yen as well. But still longs on this one. If the Aussie continues to be really, really weak, any kind of strength, and we, you know, although the yen is weak, we are going to get the odd pop of strength on the yen. They've still got to do transactions. People are still going to be transacting with the yen because, you know, business doesn't stop. If I've got 20 million hedge to put on a yen transaction because I'm shipping goods from Japan to America, I still need to put a massive hedge on the yen. So there's still going to be money pumping into the yen, but it's not going to be speculative. So we will get the odd powerful push off of the yen. But obviously with the Aussie being weak, when you've got a week against a week, you tend to get a slow grind. And then obviously you get things like that when you get massive weakness in one currency and the other one has got a little bit of strength, which is what we've had with the Aussie. So at the moment we're not going anywhere, but I'll be looking for longs. You could have got long on this at any time in the last week really, basically, but you're not gone anywhere. So you're just stuck at the moment. But overall looking for longs on that. Aussie US shorts, US dollar at the moment still is a little bit weak. We will get some strength coming through. We're just waiting for some news on the US dollar basically to kickstart it a little bit. But Aussie US, the bias is right on this one at the moment, although the US dollar is a little bit more like that now, I think. So still looking for shorts on it. At the moment we're not going anywhere. It's a really ugly symmetrical triangle. It's probably a bit too far. Actually, it might not be actually. Should be a 61.8 on that. Yeah, might be a bit. Basically, you can see it's contracting. So we're just contracting at the moment. Eventually, when we get to the end of the contraction, we'll break in one direction or the other. I'll be looking for shorts. If we do break to the upside, I'll be looking for double top and then some kind of support up at the reversal alert. So if we break up to the upside, look for a double top to short it. Second entry would be up there. Otherwise, looking for shorts if you want to take that one. But as I say, it's not really going anywhere at the moment. We really need something to shake the market up this week. It's a bit of a lackluster start to the week, obviously, because of the holiday yesterday. CAD Swiss. Obviously, CAD is fairly strong, and you know when it wants to power up, it really goes. Swiss franc, we've had that big move, so exactly the same as all the other Swiss francs. Do you want to fade it? If so, you get in now, get a stop under there. Otherwise, wait until we have faded, and that fade could look something like that, and it could be a week, it could be 2 weeks, it may never even get there. But if we do get up there, I'll be looking for shorts. Not so much on the CAD Swiss. I'd rather take any other Swiss. Aussie Swiss would be much better to take because you've got a proper bias there. Bias on this is that. So difficult one. That's the point. I didn't look at the COT report. I'm not sure if the COT report got done this week because of holidays. 14th. Where are we? 21st. No, that's an old. Was that an old one or not? Oh no, it's a new one. Wow, look at that. New Zealand dollar. Market's flipped long on the New Zealand dollar. Would you know it? There you go, Swiss franc. Yeah. So this is prior to that announcement, so this shows you someone knew what was happening with the Swiss franc, yeah, because this is from the 14th, right? Before the news release, the market flipped massively long on the Swiss franc, yeah. Somebody knew something. So yeah, proper lot of money come in on the Swissy. We flipped back short again on the euro. No idea why that's there. Pound is not strong. Canadian dollar continues strength, and we've got a little bit more strength coming through on the US dollar as well. We haven't flipped, but we've dropped a lot of the shorts on the US dollar. So I was just interested to look at it. I'm not following the COT report as much at the moment, but I think it's going to start to come back to usefulness. Now we've got a lot of stuff out the way to do with rates and we know where we're going. This should make a lot more sense moving forward. So I'm just waiting to see whether it falls in line with my sentiment. And then I'll probably start using it again a little bit more. But yeah, I was just interested to see what was happening with the Swiss franc. Next week will be the real tell. This number should go through the roof because obviously now we've got confirmation of the rate increase. Swissy should be a lot stronger. So yeah, so Swissy, it's a real difficult call. This level of support resistance here is where we got stuck and we bounced off of. We're coming back into this level again. So I think what we're going to see is either a Swiss franc power up in the next couple of days, or we're not, and we're just going to gradually slow grind back up and fade. So your choice on those. I'm staying out of Swissy at the minute because I just don't know which it's going to do, and I want to take positions rather than stop loss trades. So CAD Yen long. CAD's going well. Hopefully we get that power up this afternoon. I've got two positions on this at the moment. Looking for TP1 up there, and then obviously the second one I will see what happens, see what the P&L is looking like at the time when I get up there. But I'll probably take some of this off this afternoon prior to the news. So 1:30 is the news, so as we're approaching the news I'll probably take one off, depending on whether I've got a decent profit on it, but take one off and let one run. So yeah, really nice bounce off of the 24 on that one, and obviously looking for a push higher. Swiss yen, again, obviously the bias on this is massively that at the moment, so yeah, I'm not interested in getting in up there. I want to see some kind of pullback profit take, which is why I took the US dollar yen. We've had the pullback, the profit take move on the US dollar yen, so this has got a little bit of strength now to push up. Swiss yen, we're not even flagging, literally. We're not even flagging. We're flagging up. So you know, continuing on its merry way potentially, but I don't want to get in anything that's extended that much. If you want to fade it, again, same thing. This is probably not the best thing to fade though. There's better things to fade out there with the Swissy, obviously due to the yen bias being short. Sorry. So you'll probably find we will all we'll get is a little bit of a flag on it. Euro odd, very difficult one at the moment. It's a short against a short, so very difficult to decide where this is going. It's going to be based on rate announcements. Lagarde said again yesterday about the rate increase down here, and Lane basically, you know, it's all the same stuff coming out yesterday. We're going to increase rates. We've told you what we're going to do. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. Going to do this, and then all of a sudden they do something completely different, and it screws the market up. But next month we are expecting the euro rates to increase, so we should see some start of a little bit of strength starting to come through on the euro, but I don't think it'll be sustained, because until the eurozone's economy starts getting better, obviously they're still in the hole. So yeah, difficult one. But euro odd is a short against a short at the moment, so obviously we're just not going anywhere. So range bound opportunities up at highs and at lows, coming back to retest this gap down here. But right now we're just floating in the middle of nowhere. So, you know, hit a long or hit a short, up to you. Just looking at the wicks on this at the moment, though, I'd be looking to hit a short more than a long. So obviously yesterday it's very difficult to do any technical analysis on a day when half the market was shut, but wicks to the upside, very, very short at the moment. So we had a nice liquidity run there and then dumped. We've pulled back. We've got wick rejection there before a move down. We've pushed up, made new lower high, lots of wick rejection. So this looks good for a short entry. How far you're going to get with a short entry, difficult to tell, because neither of these has got any strength or weakness to actually move the market considerably without any news. We've had the Aussie dollar news this morning, which did absolutely nothing. We've got to wait for PMIs on Thursday for any kind of euro news. So yeah, potentially looking good for shorts. So reversal alert here. I've got 2 euro shorts on at the moment. I can't take this. So yeah, reversal alert on M15 would be a good entry, because you'll be getting in basically on sustained rejection of these wicks. So this will be the third bullish candle when you get that reversal alert, and then hopefully we'll get just a little bit of momentum to move down. Target on it, difficult. So I'll be looking for these lows really, but with the euro still shorts, but we need some Aussie dollar strength. So not looking particularly amazing at the minute. Euro CAD, already in a position on this one. Got 2 sells on it. Again, Canadian dollar, looking for strength on the CAD off of the retail to bring this back down and just get this massive propulsion gap filled. I've got target initially down at the lows, but I will probably get out before that. But yeah, 4 hour, obviously nice rejection. Obviously we are bearish on it. We've got this lovely high here, support resistance area, which the market is not interested in. So the plan on this was to get up to there to add a second position short. Didn't need it, it's just gone. So at the moment, but obviously it can do what it likes from there, we don't know. We haven't quite got down to that low, so that's an area of interest. So we'll see what happens when we get down to there, but it's going to be based on the CAD news. So if the CAD does get positive news, we're going to get a dump on this today, and we could well, depending on the retail sales, we could well see an ADR hit on this afternoon. So just waiting, but short. Jesus, this market's off to the races this morning. Anybody take the opening range high this morning? Big move. So everything's broken out into new highs. S&P's not actually, not quite got there yet. Trying very hard though. So big moves to the upside on the indices. Right, Euro CAD, covered that one. Euro Swiss, same story as the rest with the Euro Swiss. We tapped to this support basically and rejected. We've gone nowhere since. Again, same thing, take your pick. This one has been a massive short until the Ukraine crisis kicked in, and since the Ukraine crisis has kicked in, obviously the Swiss franc lost all of its strength. So we just got a neutral move, because obviously we had neutral short against the short, so we just got sideways movement. As you can see, the Swissy powered up off of the rate announcement. So looking for continued shorts, would like to come back down and retest this level. But this is a key area down here, the 1 level, not quite sure exactly where that is. Let's just move that down. So yeah, so that's your big round number. We tested this on Ukraine, and and it basically pulled off, but it didn't really pull off because it hit that number. It pulled off because money stopped going through the banking system, obviously, which is what affected the Swissy mainly, because that's mainly what the Swissy makes money out of. So now that rates have changed on that, I think we're going to see a continued move. So I think we're going to come back down and retest this level. The question is whether or not we get a pullback before we go. And as I say, with all these Swissies, I'm just waiting to see what the market does with them. At the moment, there's zero clues as to what they're going to do. The problem is, obviously, whenever you're looking at this type of trade, by the time the clue is there, you've missed half the move. So you need to get in speculatively now if you think we're going to go down and test one first, or if you think we're going to pull back first. You need to, if you want to fade it, take the long, but if we pull back into there, that's where I'm going to be shorting. So if it goes, I'm going to miss it. If it does do the pullback, I'm going to get in short down to 1 on Euro Swiss. So depending on how long it takes, obviously, and what my exposure is, because at the moment I'm exposed on the Euro already. So, but we'll see. But yeah, pullback short is what I'm looking for on that. Pound, Euro pound is nothing. It's just sideways mess. You're at the range high at the moment, so probably good looking little short until you get somewhere down here and then get out. It's just not worth it. There's no movement. It's too much risk for just virtually no reward at the moment on this one, so leaving it to do nothing. It's technically a long, really, but it's not, because they're both absolutely shot currencies. So Euro Yen, weakest long on the Euro at the moment, on the Yen rather. So this has pulled off nicely down here. Continued yen weakness should see us come up and retest the highs. So it's kind of gone. The trade was week before last, well, last week on this one. Before that, so sorry, that's there. You've missed it. It's gone. So any kind of pullbacks into this area, potentially you could get a second entry if we get somewhere around here. There's no propulsion gaps to kind of retest apart from here, so a retest of the reversal alert down there potentially for another long on it, but not my favourite yen, so not really interested in anything on that one at the minute. Euro New Zealand, sideways mess, again weak against weak, sideways. We put a lovely double top on it. It's kind of a long at the moment, but the euro is going to be slightly stronger than the New Zealand dollar. But I don't know what's going to happen with the euro when they do the rates. So it's very difficult to sort of take any position on this at the moment because we are literally just sideways. That was the trade as a short up there, but it was very hard to get into because it was literally you're in within 8 hours. If you weren't watching, you missed the entry. So not really anything that I'm interested in on this one either at the moment. It's just kind of going sideways. Short term, I mean you're stuck, aren't you, in the middle? There's your resistance, there's your support, there's your resistance. You're out bang in the middle. You've got a 50-50 shot of it deciding to go north or south. So again, nothing interesting. Euro US dollar short. I've got my first short on. I've got a second entry when this starts to play out already. Additional entries are going to be back up at resistance. And this level here is obviously where we pushed up to. So if we do manage to push back up to there on a continued weak US dollar, I'll be getting in second position somewhere around here up at ADR. But just waiting on the US dollar, basically. As I said, this week we haven't really got any US dollar news as such to speak about. We've got Powell talking a couple of times, and we've got PMIs on Thursday, which may kick US dollar into a little bit of strength. But apart from that, we've got no real news releases on the US. So We may see continued weakness waiting for the next move. So just in there on one. We'll scale into a second and just looking for a retest of the lows at some point. Pound odd, same sort of thing as euro odd. We're kind of sideways, kind of messy. Very difficult to get any kind of directional bias on this one at the moment. The Aussie dollar at the moment is fairly weak. The pound, as we know, is very, very weak. Pound got a bit of strength off of the rate announcement, but since the rate announcement, we haven't had anything. So I'm looking basically for some short opportunity to get in. You could just jump in on this straight away now. Got no pound on. This is the one I was looking at yesterday potentially for an entry, either this or the pound New Zealand, to get a short position on, but it's not going anywhere. We are rejecting the highs at the moment. Again, yesterday you can't really take much from yesterday. There was a lot more bearish rejection yesterday than there was bullish, and obviously we've rejected this high now 3 times, 4 times including today. So it looks really, really bearish. Again, we've got no catalysts to really send this off anywhere coming up. I was hoping we're going to get something off the Aussie, but we haven't. So it looks like a good short at the moment. It's not extended, but we are up in the 24.72. We've got the danger of this happening though. And I don't really want to tie up exposure in something that could potentially sit sideways for 3 weeks. So it's a difficult one. I do like it short. Just looking at what I've got on. I'm really tempted. Let's whiz through the other pounds. Because I'm just looking for something to get short on the pound. Pound CAD I can't because I've got too much CAD exposure on. But I do like this pound CAD, especially after this move. It looks like a flag. I think we're going to get a move to the upside because I think what the market's going to want to do is move this up to basically entice a load of longs so they can come and rip them apart. But we've literally got this afternoon to do it because the Canadian dollar. So if we get negative news on the CAD this afternoon, we're going to get a positive pound CAD move. That's when I'll be looking to short it. But obviously I'm in too much CAD at the moment anyway. But I think we're probably going to get some positive CAD news, which means we're probably just going to dump on it. So it's a good opportunity to get in now. We're back up at the 24.72 zone where we're looking for continuation trend shorts. So yeah, looks like a good looking short to me. Was RSI extended last week where your entry would have been. Actually, yeah, that was only on Friday actually, wasn't it? So yeah, it's not going anywhere, is it? So yeah, nice looking short there. Pound Swiss, again, exactly the same thing. We're either going to fade or we're not. It's really going to be dependent on whether the Swissy powers up or weakens. The pound's not going anywhere at the moment. Yeah, your call on that one. All of these Swissies, they're really good looking risk reward longs. It's whether or not it actually happens. As I say, there's 0 clues at the moment as what we're going to do with the Swiss. So it's either going to pump or it's going to dump. Pound yen long against the yen. Everything long against the yen. The pound and the euro are the weakest longs against the yen. So this one's been moving nicely since last week's RSI extension. It will continue to go long until we get some yen intervention from Kuroda. So yeah, longs, but you're looking for pullbacks before you get in long on it. It's the weaker of the lot, so not the best one out there. CAD yen and the US yen are the best ones, I think. Pound New Zealand, complete sideways mess. Again, this is the other one I was looking at to get into short. Nice bearish engulfing going in. Have we got? Looks like we've got a bit of New Zealand dollar. Yeah, it's a bit of New Zealand dollar strength coming through this morning. Pound New Zealand, yeah, looking good. This is rolling over very, very nicely. at the moment. I can't see any reason why we get a load of New Zealand dollar strength coming through, but I think this is obviously looking like it's a short because it's rolling over so well at the minute. There's no fundamental reason really why you should be getting a big short move on these because they're both weak currencies. So we haven't really got anything that's... New Zealand's not expected to power up magically for any reason to dump this. And we've got no news coming really that's going to potentially impact the pound massively. Apart from CPI tomorrow, sorry, yes we have. CPI tomorrow, yeah, on the pound. So there is that movement tomorrow potentially, and we've got PMIs and retail, but CPI is going to be the main thing. So, so yeah, short. Do I want to take pound? I think I probably want to take pound odd. So what I'm going to do, just better get a reversal out on that, won't we? What number am I up to? 10. Okay, pound odd. We've just had a reversal alert on. Do I want to go on M15? No, I'm going to go on M5. So I'm just going to take an initial short on that, and then I'm going to let the EA do the rest. So it's 0.15. So taking that reversal alert short on pound odd. There we go. In one. Loads of rejection. I love these wicks. Just, it's rejecting up at this high, and this is the most beautiful. You can see actually my my break-even line where I've got in has basically become the support resistance line. Yeah, we've got an accumulation that started there. We came up, rejected it. We pushed up through it, came back down, tapped into it. We tapped into it. We broke through it. We tested it again. We tested it again. We accumulated around it. We rejected it there, slammed through it. It's just where the market is using a pivot at the moment. So, good looking short. Not quite sure where it's going. Somewhere down there. Pan New Zealand, same sort of thing, but it's a hell of a mess, this thing. So, very difficult to really pick, but I'll be looking more shorts than longs. And pound US dollar short. We got a weak US dollar at the moment, so looking for any kind of test up here, this high. But equally, if we break that low, I think we're going to dump. So up to you really, but I'll be looking for shorts. It's not extended at the moment in any way, shape or form, so it's a trend play. So yeah, shorts, pound US dollar. At the moment though, it's completely sideways. The New Zealand's, we've got a bit of strength, as I said, coming through on these. New Zealand dollar CAD is a short, so this is a good area to start looking for short opportunities based on Canadian dollar strength. I'm obviously in the CAD. I looked at this one yesterday as another alternative for a short, and yesterday it played out quite nicely. So we had the reversal alert. Sorry, yesterday. We had the reversal alert from Thursday, which started to play out. We got a rejection up at the highs yesterday, which pushed down. So looking good for shorts. This one potentially, obviously market structure at the moment is very, very textbook. Assuming it's going to continue textbook, this is exactly where we'll be looking for the new lows. So target's going to be down below these lows somewhere. It's difficult to tell how far it's going to go, the CAD. It could just continue pushing and pushing and pushing. Obviously, if oil keeps going up and up and up, CAD's going to get richer and richer and richer, and it's just going to keep getting stronger with its economy. Every news event that we seem to be having coming out of the CAD is positive. They're just doing really, really well. So with New Zealand dollar being virtually neutral, and the Aussie dollar being weak, and the Aussie dollar pulls the New Zealand around. If the Aussie continues to be kind of neutral or goes any kind of weakness, we're going to see a big strong move on this one as well. So looking good for shorts at the moment. Obviously the Aussies and the New Zealand's, well the Aussie specifically is mineral export rich, as obviously we've got with oil and the CAD. So these two kind of butt heads quite a lot because they tend to strengthen and weaken very similarly. But the New Zealand is the better one to take rather than the Aussie CAD, I think, because the New Zealand won't power up as anywhere near as much as the Australian dollar does. So if we do get into drawdown on it, you're going to get less into drawdown and slower on the New Zealand dollar CAD than you are on the Aussie dollar CAD. We've got a lovely level of resistance up there for second entries. Obviously if this initial push doesn't start the move. So New Zealand dollar Swiss, I'm not going to go over it again. It's the same thing, you take your pick. One of those is going to happen. New Zealand dollar yen long, but obviously it's already gone. So we're waiting for a pullback for the next leg up. New Zealand dollar US dollar short, exactly the same as all the other ones. We're waiting for US dollar strength. We got a new low put in just, that's too thick now, that line. We just got a new low put in. Basically it's a double bottom, but so we got a double bottom bounce and we got a double top bounce as well. So officially we're in a range. So I'd be looking for shorts anywhere above the 24, anywhere up to the 72 zone here, assuming that we're going to either come and do a range bound move to the upside, or we're going to put new market structure in, which means that will be your peak formation high, low, lower high, lower low. So looking for shorts on this. If this one continues back up there, that's where I'd be looking, getting interested in it, depending on obviously what you got on. But so retest of the 4-hour reverse alert, somewhere around there. Looking for short opportunities, but right now it's not really going anywhere. US dollar CAD pulling back down very nicely off of these highs. So this weak US dollar, or rather strong CAD this looks at the moment. No, it isn't. It's a weak US dollar. But look at the yen. Shows you how weak the yen is, doesn't it? We got a weak US dollar and it's still beating the yen. So yeah, US dollar CAD, potentially a nice pullback on this one. So we've got some decent propulsion gaps on this to aim for. This one here being the main one, which will be a 61-hit retracement. So that's where I would be looking mainly to get into the next long positions. So if we can get a decent push, this is already coming down towards ADR today. If we get strong Canadian dollar news, that's going to give this a real push back down into the 24.72 area. So somewhere down here would be nice for long opportunities. That's assuming we're going to get some strength coming through on the US, but at the moment it's not looking like it. So, but down here is where I'll be looking for long opportunities. We are ever so slightly bullish still. But you know, this is the problem when you get two strong currencies against each other. Whichever one has got the news, whichever one has got the momentum, is going to beat the other one down. When we go, oh yeah, we've forgotten all about that CAD retail news, and we get a little bit of bullishness coming out of something the Fed says, we'll get a big strike, a strong spike. So good, strong movements on US dollar CAD. Two strong currencies against each other, you're going to get a good amount of movement. Good, strong pushes, good, strong profit takes. More bulls coming through. Very, very weak pullback at the moment, if that is the pullback. Good, strong indices at the moment. So looking at the indices, looks like we're going to come and put in a nice deep pullback on this candle. So somewhere in here, we're looking for shorts at some point soon. So shorts on the indices this afternoon is what I'll be looking for on the NAS and the S&P. So potentially retesting the highs. I don't think we're going to get that high, but if we can keep pushing up this afternoon, I'll be looking for shorts at the open. So yes, US dollar CAD, US dollar Swiss. Morning, Brendan, sorry. Didn't see you creeping there. US dollar Swiss. At the moment, we've got a weak US dollar, obviously, as you can see. So with this Swissy strength, this has had a little bit more downward movement than the others. But even so, we are holding support at the moment. Same as all the others. Are we or aren't we going to get that continuation strength on the Swiss franc? If we're not going to get the strength on the Swiss franc, we should see a fade. If we are, sky's the limit on it really. With the Swiss, it can just go where the hell it wants because you're going to get an awful lot of money piling into it. So we will see. Don't know on this one, so staying clear. US dollar yen, I'm long. I was looking yesterday for that break of the high, so I put that initial position as a pending up there yesterday. We pulled back down, got in on the reversal alert. So we've gone nowhere so far today. So if we get the break of that high on the US dollar yen, this one's just going to go. So looking for continued yen weakness or some US dollar strength to come through. Doubt home sales is going to do anything really. So apart from that, just got to wait for PMIs on Thursday. So it might go into a bit of drawdown on that one. It may well want to pull back down into this area. In which case, obviously, just take a second. So yeah, so that's it. There's your overview again of everything. It's very similar to yesterday. But there's not a lot of extensions to look at the moment, so looking for just support resistance bounces in line with trend. At the minute, CAD Yen's doing well. So with these two, it'd be nice to bank 0.5% today off of those initial positions. See where we get to. I'm going to give it a couple of hours. I'm going to wait until 1 o'clock and see where we are with the CAD, and then I'll see if it hasn't pulled back. If we've moved up, I'll take one off on both of those, the Euro CAD and the CAD Yen. If we've pulled back down to here somewhere, obviously, then I'll just leave it, but we'll see where we get with those. Alright, so that's it for today so far. Aussie New Zealand, put them down again. So waiting on the Aussie New Zealand, just had a reversal out to the downside, so looking basically for a test of yesterday's low potentially to get into another position long on that one. Everything else is kind of middling. Euro, US dollar, really bad US dollar at the moment. Let the euro go. Bit of strength coming through on the euro this morning. Not quite sure why I've got euro strength this morning. No, don't know. Just a bit of euro strength coming through, and obviously with that weak US dollar, we're getting a big strong push on the euro US dollar. So that's getting to this level up here where I'm interested in second shorts up at ADR if we get there. I'm not sure we will. So that's it. I'll be in the Telegram group if you need me. Be monitoring obviously the positions. I'll let you know if I'm doing anything specific, but other than that, just waiting for news to kick in basically to give the market a bit of a push in one direction or the other. I'll be back tomorrow morning 7:50 same time, so just watch out for the news this afternoon 1:30 with the retail sales. We've got home sales on the US, but not particularly interested in that. Tomorrow morning's the big one for CPI, so that's before I come on, so just watch that tomorrow morning. So I've got that pound on now. So I've got a short on the pound ready ahead of the news. Hoping for weakness off the pound tomorrow. So I just got an initial position on, but obviously be watching this massive area of chop. So if we do manage to get some strength on the pound tomorrow, we're going to hit a lot of sellers in there. So be looking to get in shorts somewhere up there if we do get that move. But otherwise, hopefully we just get this push down this afternoon. Tomorrow rather. All right, have a good one, everyone. I will see you tomorrow morning, 7:50, same time. If you need anything, come in the Telegram group. I'll be in there for questions, etc., etc. Other than that, have a good day. Hope it's profitable. And indices, as I say, I'm starting to look for shorts on these. We're pulling back, so I'll be looking ideally for short entries this afternoon, assuming that we don't go green to red by the time we get there. All right, have a good one. I will see you tomorrow morning.